To enjoy this and other great episodes on Patreon, check out the link in the description and subscribe via the Black Kluge tier for full access to over 100 exclusive episodes. For those of you who would like some QF swag on Teepublic, t-shirts, magnets, mugs, what have you, also click on the link in the description.
No way. Howard, you're not dumb. You went to BU. You're a smart man.
BU.
There's your credentials.
They let all the geniuses into BU. You know that I went to BU, but I went to retard BU? Like I didn't even go to the real BU.
It wasn't even the real college?
Yeah, there's a college at Boston University for idiots. It's to milk parents who can't normally get their kids into the school. You know, I was a real idiot.
Oh.
And BU has a program called, it's like the Special Olympics. It was called Basic Studies. It doesn't get embarrassing than that. Like when you're trying to pick up a chick at BU and you tell her you're in Basic Studies, you're like, fucking loser.
Yeah.
They head for the hills. You think it was easy to get laid with this face and being in Basic Studies? And Basic Studies, the deal was, even though you're a shit student, you can't even score above 1,000 on your SATs, we're going to let you into BU, let your old man pay the freight, and you got to, for 2 years, take everything you were supposed to take in high school, but you fucked up.
So you're really in high school?
I'm in high school. I was in high school for 2 more years. Believe me, this was no college. I was studying, like, high school chemistry, you know, humanities, which was actually watching movies. And it was like retard school. And then if you passed retard school, they'd let you for the next 2 years get into, you know, like the School of Communications, where I'd study radio. I'd be studying fucking radio. What's the study of radio? There wasn't one professor that
You
knew
weren't
anything
making radios.
No, if we made radios, it would have made sense. Study radio. I'm sure my old man was having a conniption. It cost him like $5 grand a year at the time, which was a lot of money for my father.
You wanted to do the Howard Stern Radio Network, which I think is a fantastic idea, but I know it has to be a tremendous undertaking. And what I was thinking...
It's not that tremendous. I can make it happen.
Well,
I'm in the middle of doing it.
With so many people now having these digital dishes, and also the big satellite dishes, which we have, why couldn't you get on sort of like a pay...
Because you're missing the point. Radio...
Confused about what we do.
Yeah, radio is primarily listened to in cars. Unless you get a satellite dish on your car.
We're not going on cable radio.
Yeah, we don't want to take our step back. When I was in college, we had cable radio. They would only broadcast it into the dormitories over the phone lines. I'm not looking to take a step back. I'm a broadcaster.
But at least that way people that are all over the country, like us who tape the show every day, would have the option.
I don't care. I don't care. I'm not looking to do a paid radio show. That's going to be the saddest day of my career when I got to do a paid radio show. I'd rather quit.
So 80 and 100 million a year go into your corporation. You go on Sirius, the satellite radio channel, okay? How are they going to make a profit? I mean, how many people you think are going to go over and what are they, like $50 for that thing, subscription?
Is it my problem if they make a profit?
No.
Is that my worry?
No.
Welcome, folks, to QF, a podcast about Howard Stern. I'm your host, Phil Moore, a.k.a. Jim Fix, and I'm gutted about the loss of Ralphie Cakes in the Stern world. And someone's saying out there that, this is really, such a sad, momentous occasion. Well, whether it is or not, I brought in Jay Santi to this particular episode because we're covering a little bit of a lore of Hurricane Sandy before Doug Goodstein goes into the studio. And so, my man, thank you for being here on this so sad occasion.
I'm happy to be here. I think I'm wearing a black thong in memorial of
the banana hammock.
Banana hammock. And today I'll be going as Jay the Gay Ghost Santi. That's what I'm going as. I'll
be going as Fillmore the Priest. For our priest and boy sketch. Now, this is the thing that I don't understand. I really, really don't understand. Some of you might think we're heartless, but then if you are on Patreon and you've heard me crying about my dad, about listening to how Howard was, treating Ben, in Ben's last days, then honestly, fuck off, because we didn't lose a great pillar of humanity here. We didn't lose anything. We gained something, because sometimes God gets it right. And Ralph was a piece of shit through and through. Why are we going to mince words and, have 10 episodes talking about what a piece of shit he is? And then in death, all of a sudden people die, and it's like Goodfellas. All of a sudden they die and you make like that some kind of saints. What's your take on this? Because the rumors are going to be spreading, and guess what, guys? Yeah, the rumors are going to spread because, and this will all be old news by the time you get this episode, I suppose. The rumors spread out because of who he was and what he was like.
Well, yeah, because we've even I, not being a listener of the current show, was in tune with um his antics, and also his extracurricular activities that still, still being I guess dodged and avoided in conversations on the show. It might have been brought up here and there, and then his discussions of bouts of depression and yeah, and like you said, I'm not gonna sit here and lament about what a great person he was, because like I said, he was on my top 3 of most despised individuals on the show. He really was. So I'm not gonna sit here and fucking give him his flowers, because he probably already had them planted in his ass beforehand. But in any case, he one thing I would say about him in death was that if there was anybody who knew how to stir up shit, he brought the toilet bowl and the fucking biggest spoon to stir it up. And besides Stuttering John, he was like probably the quintessential individual to know how to fucking light somebody's fire and get people agitated.
I would say I would agree. And the other thing is, it's not to say that he wasn't there for some of the good moments of the show, but for the most part, the seediness, the getting knocked out at scores, the drug use, the alcohol abuse, and the speculation a lot of people are wondering is based on the Stamos, Instagram post, which reads very oddly. It really. It's not, and that's because Ralph was an odd individual. Like there's so much we don't know about him, but yet it seems to be in plain sight as well. Like the Sam Simon connection, the Stamos connection, the Howard connection, and of course, this under, like the fact that Cabby's whitewashed from the famous the meeting of Beth, and now Ralph is integral, but ever since Cabby's been whitewashed from it, but he was there too. Cabby being an admitted like bisexual as well. There's too many people hanging around that are of the same persuasion that lends more credence to the fact that Howard was also a bit of a pole smoker.
I'll take two instances and two occurrences that this reminds me of. Number one, there's reports that he had passed away from a type of lymphoma, and I don't know, back in the 80s when I don't know, this disease called AIDS hit really big. Before it was like very much known that AIDS was this big thing going on. Yeah. It was said that people were dying of a form of lymphoma as well. So I'll leave that out there. I'll let that bagel hole stay open for a little bit. And also with like you mentioned with when I read the Stamos thing, the one thing that I did say that I didn't believe it until I was waiting for TMZ to put it up. I wanted to wait to see if TMZ confirms it. But once Wiggy did his form of a eulogy on the show this morning, I was like, yeah, okay. Hell has a new customer, and he's there with his butthole buddy Sam Simon.
Well, I was going to ask you, like, what was this worse than the Ben eulogy, or just as bad, or slightly better?
I would probably say that he probably gave more of a loving tribute to Ralph's father.
Well, he wanted to fuck Ben, but he could only get Ralph.
Yeah, exactly. So it's like, well, he fucked Ben in death. That's what the fuck he did. But
no kidding.
In this instance, it was it just sounded like contrived, like if he really didn't want to say anything, but in all reality is because he is I'm gonna say honestly might be a little bit happy that it's occurred, because
all those skeletons, man.
Oh yeah, them skeletons went with him, and it kind of reminds me of this conspiracy theory thing going around with P. Diddy, where all of P. Diddy's closest people, they just die. So Stern, you're waiting on Robin? You want to see what she got? It's crazy. It's a crazy thought.
Well, let's not forget that just yesterday it was in the New York Post, and I don't know if people decide. It's page 6. Let me see if I got this correctly here. Sean Diddy Combs accused of gang raping 17-year-old schoolgirl in fourth sex assault claim. This was published on the 6th at around 12:15 p.m. It says he's been accused of gang raping and sex trafficking a 17-year-old schoolgirl when she was in the 11th grade, according to a new court filing seen by page 6. It's the fourth allegation of sexual assault made against the billionaire music mogul in 3 weeks, and comes after he settled the first suit with his ex-singer Cassie for an undisclosed sum after she accused him of years of rape and abuse. So you want to talk pieces of shit. He's in good company. And that picture, now we got a picture of Howard with Harvey Weinstein. We got a picture of him with OJ. We got a picture of him with Diddy at the white party. He knows every single scumbag.
Yeah,
Isn't it amazing how he gets tied into all these people somehow?
Yeah, it's the Bermuda Triangle of sleaze. They all just slowly but surely start to disappear.
What's your take on the whole cause of death? Do you think it's exactly what Howard says? Because I don't buy it, actually, and I think he was reading off a script, first of all, for the most part, and second of all, he said, like in Stamos thing, he says, "Oh, he died alone." Now he could be metaphorically talking. Okay, he died with no one in his life, but when people really physically die alone, that's exactly what they say. He died alone. Like Johnny Carson had 2 surviving sons and a wife at the time, and he was alone by his bedside.
Right. That's what I heard him say about the dying alone part when he said he spoke to Ralph. He said he spoke to him the night before, and I'm like, did you really?
No.
Yeah. And then him painting that picture of him saying you were right about how I lived my life. This sucks, whatever. And I'm like,
that struck me as completely self-serving, and it sounded like disingenuous. It sounded like bullshit. And the other thing is, if you die on an operating table, you're not dying alone.
Right. But I believe he went with the I guess the life of dying alone being saying that, he didn't have any, and mind you, he said partners. He didn't say wife or girlfriend, or he said he decided to live a life without a partner. And I was like, that's interesting. That's an interesting way of phrasing that.
Not only that, but George Takei went on his Twitter and said farewell to a very supportive and unwavering member of the community. Which community is that? The Japanese concentration camp PTSD victims?
No, it's the Star Trek community. It's it was a Trekkie. That's what it is, right?
Oh, right. Yeah. You know what? He was found with several Star Trek figures up his ass.
Right. Especially the Vulcan handshake was up his ass. No, I also I quickly went to go check out his social medias. Like, he hadn't been on Twitter for some time, and unless he had opened up another Twitter, but it is his Geek Time one hadn't been used around. But his Instagram was, I believe, his last post was around October 31st or November 1st, something like that.
Yeah.
So it means that for a guy who had been social heavy for a while, those last couple of weeks must have hit him heavy. And this is what I'm saying about the whole bedside confession thing to Wiggy. Is a little bit, like you said, it's scripted. Also, by the way, in one of his Instagram posts, there is a picture of protesters holding rainbow flags and such like that. So
take what you will from that, guys. Anyway, rest in peace, Ralph.
Rot in peace, you fucking scumbag. I can't stand.
We covered both sides. If you feel upset or if you feel giddy as all fuck, guys, that he's gone, and no one's happier about it than Howard, because not only he does lose the one bone that he cared about, but he also loses a lot of skeletons with that death. I just hope some Polaroids find their way to TMZ in a big brown manila envelope that was posted. Maybe his sister, if she's smart, sold them for fucking dough.
Don't be surprised if somebody already went through that apartment with a fine-tooth comb. Like, Howard sent the squad in there to survey and scourge the area like fucking like the CIA or FBI looking for documents.
Do you know?
He went
not
people in.
There's not a lot of people. There's not a lot of people who don't believe. Let me rephrase that. There's plenty of people who ask the question, do you think he was Epsteined?
Yeah, that could be something. Because
yeah, do you believe that, we know this, we know about, I'm not to get too conspiratorial here, guys. I'm sure he literally just OD'd and that was it. But in terms of the compromat, I could easily see someone being paid to go through Ralph's apartment, including Wilding, if he had the code, go in there, get whatever shit is in there and leave.
Well, there was two things that stuck out to me in that half-ass fucking eulogy that he said, and both related to Beth. Number one was the reference to Beth saying that Wiggy and Ralph had their own secret language. No shit.
Oh my goodness.
I'll give you a hint. It both starts with gay. That's one. And then he kept referring to Ralph and I would giggle to each other. Who the fuck? What men say we were giggling to each other? Like we were laughing. We were like, no, giggling. I always refer that to like schoolgirls. Giggle. I giggle like a schoolgirl. Then the other part was when he mentioned where Beth went out and is helping the mother and the sister help put the pieces together, and Robin made it clear to say, "Oh, that was so big of her to do that." And it's like, why would you have to mention that? Why would you have to say how big it was for her to do that?
And also, more importantly, why aren't you helping if you're such a friend?
Well, I was thinking is because she knew that that's his fucking lover, and it's like I'm helping your fucking dead lover bury your history.
Right.
So
having one employee take care of another.
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, guys, we're going to continue with this, and this was key. I didn't include it originally in the regular Hurricane Sandy, not because it's bad, but because it's just got a whole lot of Ganji stuff that's pointless. So we're going to go through it, and I want Jay's take because he was in New York during Hurricane Sandy, and I know he has loads of opinions about what went down, what he experienced, and I want to hear it all. So we're going to start off right a little bit here with the Howard TV app.
Hey, everybody loves when Jon Lieberman raps. I got so many letters and people say, please let Jon rap more. A couple of people said, please never let him rap again.
Well, I think it could be the rap to end all raps.
He did a great job with Polaris last night.
Yeah, they were doing a live weather show.
He did 4 hours of radio yesterday.
Yeah, they were busy. Jon Lieberman.
They were great.
In the house.
They took it seriously.
I just saw Jon here this morning. Where does Jon live?
No, he stayed in the city as well. And his girlfriend,
wasn't he worried about a tree falling on his girlfriend?
Well, his girlfriend works for CNN. She was here all night working.
Right,
so they both stayed in the city.
Right.
Yeah, because that's what reporters do. They actually take some risks, so they go where people are not supposed to go. Shuli, what's your excuse? I'm sure your family really appreciated the time they had away from you during this.
And if I'm not mistaken, Lieberman has a son, and his son wasn't with him at the time. The son was with his mother. So Lieberman could have that flexibility to not be anywhere else, but in the Stern World building.
Mm-hmm. What was it like for you during Hurricane Sandy?
Okay, so during that time, I believe that's 2012. So I had just started a gig. I had just started working. I was a stay-at-home dad for 2.5 years, and I had just got a gig at the hospital as a temp. And believe I would have to say I was only 9 months in, and as a temp, you don't get the job security. So when we were hearing of what was going down, I was presented with the option to stay with my family, or stay at work, stay with my family. Reason why is because the position that I had had to deal with transportation. So I would be the dispatcher of ambulances coming in and out, transferring patients in and out of the building, and so forth. So my boss at the time, she was really sweet to me, and she says, "Look, I know you have a young daughter at home, and you got a family at home. Go home. Just stay with your family."
Awesome.
So I said, because I was really worried because, like I said, if and I had been, I had never been late. I've been at work all the times, and I was just afraid of losing the gig. So when it initially hit, the storm was coming in. Remember, my daughter Sally was maybe about 6, yeah, not even like seven, about 7 years old, and she's sitting there laughing and having a good time with all this, and I'm sitting and I'm over here worrying that trees are gonna fly out the window. She's over here singing "Here I Am, Rock You Like a Hurricane," and I'm just like, "Kid, would you calm down?" No,
That's great.
she's singing Final Countdown and such, and I'm like, I don't know where she gets the fucking sense of humor from. Any case, so where I was at, I was in Queens, borderline of Brooklyn. We were pretty much okay. We were okay. We didn't get too many power issues and such, but there was immense flooding even in the urban areas, immense flooding, street flooding and such. A friend of mine's, he was working a bread truck, a route, and they had to go down to the Lower East Side, like the Wall Streets and such. And he explained to me how serious it was down there. It was total blackout. He said it looked like whatever apocalyptic TV shows or movies you've ever seen. It's exactly what it was. Like, stores were only open by dimly generators that were able to light up their place, or by candlelight. And he said it would, even to this day, it freaks him out to be in dark areas because he remembers what it was during that time.
It's pitch black.
Yeah, yeah. And especially in New York City, like, I mean, come on, our subways, water was coming out of the subways. Like, they were flooding. And even to this day, like, even if we get a 4-hour storm, it's our systems will always back up. I didn't go back into work for maybe 3 or 4 days, because MTA was down. Getting a cab was atrocious. Uber wasn't really big out here as of yet. And like I said, public transportation was just atrocious. It was bad. But I anytime I would hear this whole nonsense with Wiggy, it infuriates me, because of, you could hear how uncaring that he is about other people and their families, and what they what their role are as as individuals with their family.
So did you, I know, I'm pretty sure we covered this ages ago, that you kind of gave up after Artie left. But you stuck with it here and there, maybe like I did with forums and whatnot, and Reddit and YouTube. Maybe the odd you stuck in here and there, well, but you did get to hear this though.
No. At this time, I was still listening, because I would listen I was still listening. It had to be maybe about 14 or 15 that I really stopped listening. When I got my when I said, "Hey, I'm not paying for Sirius anymore. F that," and I said, and also I had gotten another gig within the hospital where I would work overnight, so I really wasn't going to be able to listen or pay attention or even care for it. So,
well, at the time, do you remember thinking this is going to lose him so many more fans?
I had already had a sense that he was already hitting the rails. I already know that he was going off track. The fan base wasn't as it was early on, even 5 years previous. Like, I knew that it was going downhill. But with this, I knew that this was where he was the most instant, like his thought process of this was going to lose a lot of people, because he's unaware of what these disasters can be. And for New York, this was a major this was historic.
Yep.
This is the perfect storm of just chaos that occurred, and he was so nonchalant about it, because he's like, well, I stood here for 9/11, so it didn't mean anything. And it's like, dude, like, this is this is just it's ridiculous. But at least with 9/11, it was lightning in a bottle because it was an occurrence that just happened and you were there for it, and it was, you know, I commend you for what you did for that moment. But with this was, you were preparing for it, and you really didn't need to be there or have your staff there. But then to berate them for it was foolishness.
And let's not forget how many times during 9/11 he asked to leave.
Yeah, he asked to leave, and even with that, I remember the 9/11 because I listened to that through and through as well, and yeah, he asked to leave a couple of times, but I also gave him credit for what he told everybody else. Listen, if you gotta go, you gotta go. But then gave KC shit when he ran out the fucking building.
Of course, and Scott the engineer who went bowling.
I have to go make sure that I go with my bowling league.
Well, listen, you can master the 7-10 split during a terrorist attack. You can just about survive anything.
Twin Towers with my bowling ball.
Yeah. So Lieberman comes in and then Ganji will come in for a little of this as well, guys.
That's it. They did it. You know, they did.
John wanted me to know he was here because I was walking to my office and he goes, Howard, hey, hi.
I'm dependable.
Hey, you know what?
Here,
Good to see
Howard.
you. Yeah,
That's
over here.
That is so not how it went down.
Hi, Hal.
Howard, you missed me. I'm over here.
Hey, how are you?
How you doing,
Just
man?
you know.
Did you feel you had to go home and to protect your house?
No, it's a crazy situation, actually. Well, I stayed in the city last night because Belaris and I did all the shows, and then I was staying here. My girlfriend works at CNN, as Shuli said, so she had
What'd she do for CNN?
She's a producer for Piers Morgan.
Oh, no kidding.
So they did round-the-clock coverage, so she had a separate hotel room, and I had a hotel room through here. But listen to this. I'm supposed to close on a house tomorrow afternoon in coastal Connecticut. Is
the house still there?
I don't know, Howard. This is the thing.
Are you forced to close on the house if it no longer exists?
Well, no, you're not. I'm lucky in a way in that if there's major damage, it's going to be on the seller. But still, I love the house.
Can you imagine if you closed like 2 days ago and now it's your house?
Was washed away. I know.
So keep in mind what he just said. He's foreclosing. He's closing on a house in Connecticut. This is the scope of how big this storm was. Connecticut is like from here. It's maybe I'm gonna say maybe 200 miles north of New York City.
Okay.
So you had Connecticut, you had Massachusetts, you had New York, you had Jersey, you had Pennsylvania. I'm gonna say Delaware. So all these 8 states alone are getting hit by this storm at one time.
Yeah, and it's predicted to come in. They know about it. You can only prepare so much, but there it is. Like at least you know it's coming.
Now, mind you, I don't know how far along you had gotten with the Gary conversation. Gary was coming in from Connecticut. Now I told you it's about 200 miles north of New York City. So he's giving him shit about that. You also had like you're gonna hear later on about everybody else and their issues that they had to deal with. The one person that I'm watching this and I'm looking and I'm like, what a fucking parasite. We just talked about Ralph a little while ago, but what a fucking parasite is Shuli. This was his time to put lips to ass and really start smooching Howard's ass.
Keep checking in with my real estate agent up there, and she has her own issues because she got evacuated, and so I'm just waiting to hear if this house is still there or if it's flooded or what. We're supposed to close at 3:00 tomorrow afternoon. So it's crazy.
Yeah.
But so fingers crossed.
You got wild story. Well, you can rap about it if you.
Yeah, you can rap about it. Shuli, what do you have to say about being in there?
Listen to the Hurricane Sandy episode on QF to hear exactly how unfunny I really am.
Thanks, brother.
Thanks.
We appreciate it.
Thanks, Shuli.
Yeah, well, like we know that this was his big Hail Mary, and of course, Shuli has his own thoughts.
I sat in the Artie chair and ate. such a massive dick.
Yeah.
Yeah, you sure enough did, sir. I'm glad. I'm happy that he shared his honesty here.
Yeah, for the first time, he was funny. The thing was with this situation here. First of all, Howard comes off as beyond. When you say insensitive, okay, it's the wrong person, but it's more than that. It's almost maniacal in this whole saga because if you look, especially when you look at the videos, he looks like this is that narcissistic rage. Why aren't you there for me? Why aren't you coming in for my show for me? So when Gary, we covered it up to Gary in the calling into the wrap-up show when he was quote unquote bummed out that that the haranguing kept going on. Meanwhile, he should have just told him, go fuck yourself. Would have been out of a job? At that time, I think that's what was extremely weighing on on Gary's mind, that Marcy Turk's there. He's got to know about it by then. And he's got to know that his job may be in jeopardy. And then you got Jason coming in, dressing up a little better, maybe hoping to take Gary's job. And wouldn't surprise me in the slightest if it had happened, because he could pay Jason a lot less money to do Gary's job and pocket the rest.
Yeah, I never understood why he called in. I never understood that. He should have just
left it
alone and just deal with it when he came into work. I don't know why he even made that call.
Because Howard had all of his insecurities going.
Yeah.
And he was just feeling like, I got to make this happen. I got to defend myself. There's no defending. There's no need to defend any of that shit. And he was such a whipping boy for so long. I think for him, it was like a default, you hit the knee and it kicks up the reflex.
Yeah. It seems as though like, at this time, like you said, his insecurity was hitting, but he also had that thought process as well as saying like, it's material for the show, boss. Man,
yeah.
Yeah, I could.
Yeah.
But
supposed to close on a house. I ain't going to get stopped by a mouse, but a hurricane could be the real louse. If you know what I'm saying.
Word up.
Yeah, word up.
Way too many words.
Fuck, he's not even search. He's not even. he's not even.
Actually, he did better than Lieberman because have you heard Lieberman rap? Yikes! No. It's painful.
Is there some out there?
Oh, definitely. Look up the episode where matter of fact, I'll find it for you where Sal and Lieberman battle. It's the rap battle. And it's the guys from it's like Loaded Lux and Who Kid are there judging. And
Sal versus Jon Lieberman.
There it
no
goes,
way.
Like, oh.
Okay, hold on.
Okay. AKA Pouchy G today.
Pouchy G.
Pouchy G in the place to be, rocking the mic so fucking viciously. Yo.
Wow.
What do you think of that?
You know what? Sal at least has the swagger to get away with it.
Hey, listen, that's G-Man right there. That was his rap name, the G-Man.
Not Cool the Candy Rapper.
Yeah, that one too. And it comes up. So just give you a heads up. The two guys that's on the couch. One is DJ Who Kid. That he used to DJ for Eminem, and he was had a show on Shade 45. The other one sitting next to him is this rapper named Loaded Lux, who was like this big battle rapper. Like he was like for years he was like the king. So they come in to judge this, and hilarity ensues.
I mean, Jesus.
That's a good intro.
All right.
Game over, bitch.
Oh, you want to start the game? The game starts now. I'm the 2 Live Jew. My crew is right there to knock you down.
Oof, that was awful.
All right.
Oh my fucking Christ.
Oh, it ain't over yet, ladies and gentlemen.
This ain't the BIGDADDYKANE. I'm good and plenty, serving many and any.
Please. Close.
This is worse than what was that one guy? Oh God. Okay, there's
Ice laughs at this.
Do you remember? Oh God, we had this at the library. Shazzy.
No.
Do you remember? Okay, so the Rob Bass was big back in the day. Like everybody remembers Rob Bass. What was the one?
It Takes Two. That's what the name of the song. It Takes Two.
Yeah, but also who's the one who did the Lean on Me? The remix, the one that from the movie Lean on Me. So when you're not strong.
Oh, Big Daddy Kane.
It wasn't Big Daddy Kane. He did a remix of that, but before that, I think it was Rob Bass who did let me see, Lean on Me remix. Lean on Me remix. Who was it? Fuck it. Club Nouveau. That was it.
Oh, that one. Oh, okay. Yeah.
I got it wrong, guys. It was Club Nouveau, but this was huge back in the day. This was a jam. I remember back in the day. We were passing this around like crazy. Let me go further. No, try to play this to a fucking 19-year-old today and tell them this was cool.
Yeah, they'll give you a look as though like if a fucking alien popped out of your head.
Oh, Jesus Christ. It wasn't even technotronic, man. Anyway, so that by the way, that fucking rapping was whack.
No, you missed it. There's a part that he goes up there and he's like, "Cool the Candy Rapper, I'll unwrap you."
Should I go? Let me put that one back on there.
Yeah, just do a little bit more.
Okay, hold on. Jesus Christ Almighty.
Okay. You say woohoo. I memorized this thing.
Oh God. Okay, hold on.
Oh,
let me see.
All right, let me bring you
cans, Howie.
Little hotter in the cans. How's that? Is that good?
That's good, my man.
All right, the topic is. Yeah. You ready?
I'm ready.
Is that it, or should I go a little further?
Yeah.
Guys, there's more. Sorry, we had no choice.
About cracker.
All right, here we go.
Yeah, check me out.
Talk about the Jews.
The Jews?
Yeah.
Shit. Let me lay some funky shit. It started with Hitler going to Auschwitz. He threw them in the fucking shower. One by one, they died hour by hour. I couldn't believe my fucking eyes. This fucked up Hitler, he's a fucked up guy. But that's the way that it went. And all the money eventually was spent by the Germans, not the Jews, because they were dead. And I don't give a shit. I'd rather get some head.
Right,
that's what I said.
Right.
Peace out, y'all.
What was that?
Right.
What was that?
That is.
This is 79 Mile.
Wait. Wait till you hear Lieberman's. It's just it's sad. It's almost as though like they should have retired hip hop after that. It's god awful.
You think this was the ultimate mic drop?
Yeah. Literally, this is the day that rap died, honestly.
Okay.
It's an easy.
That was a hard topic.
That was a tough topic.
It
right?
was. I wasn't expecting that.
It was rocking. It was rocking.
Very racial, too.
I think it was. It really was.
Edgy. You got to keep it edgy.
All right.
Very
Now,
niggery.
I thought very what?
Very nigger?
No, I would say wiggery.
Oh, okay.
All right. Now,
I'm a wigger.
Fred, I can barely hear the music.
I've got it up loud on my end.
All right. Okay. Here we go. All right. Are you ready? Two Live Jew. Are you ready?
I'm feeling it.
All right. I'm just going to throw out a random topic. Here we go.
Hands up, everybody. Let's go.
Let me give you
He
the
didn't
topic.
give me the topic. You gotta get a topic first.
This is how they do it where I come from.
All right. Here we go.
Here's a topic. You lose, jackass.
Our,
Hold on, Mike.
our program manager, Tim Sabian, shit all over the walls the other day here at the bathroom. There's your topic, Tim Sabian shitting on the walls.
Here we go. Hands up. Let's talk shit. Everybody talking shit. I'm down in the BX. You want to hit? I'm Jay. I like to play. Shots are good. Shots are right. Tim took over the bathroom tonight and shit. He hit it old school.
Oh, my
he hit it new
God.
school. He hit it old school. Shit on the wall. What's up? Shit on the wall. What's up? Everybody up.
Tim.
Oh, fuck. Fuck me. Guys. I'm waving the white flag here.
Anytime I watch this, I gotta make sure that I'm in a place where nobody can hear me because I'm gonna be.
That's brutal. I mean, Vanilla Ice was a joke, yes, of course, and nothing was funnier than watching Kevin Bacon play Vanilla Ice on The Dark Side with Nat X on SNL, and on the back of his jacket, like literally they wrote on there, "Word to your mother."
Oh no, the Jim Carrey one on in Living Color. He nailed it to the back of his jacket said, "My grandmother made this jacket for me."
Oh, God. That was like a dead on thing, but just the badness of, like I loved Kevin Bacon's hair. Christ. Anyway, guys, that was brutal. But if I'd known that more about Lieberman, then I would have been more cemented in my views of not caring whether he was on the show or not. Now, Lieberman, I think, if I'm not mistaken, left of his own accord, right? He didn't get fired. He didn't get let go like the rest of the news people.
No, I believe he went out they all went out the same way. Yeah, no, I think he didn't even on his own accord. Yeah, I think they all went out.
Because I know that Langford left on his own, like he was not pushed out, but he probably left before he was pushed.
No, yeah, I didn't know. Langford left early on. He went and got job opportunities elsewhere. As a matter of fact, he's still in New York. He works for CBS out here.
Yeah, he's got a decent gig actually, and being having. I'm sure I know he speaks French and English, but he might also know Spanish, and that'll help him cover a lot of beats. So,
and I cannot see him and not think of Steve Langford has a huge penis.
Yes, absolutely. He's Wink Martindale all the way.
It's rhyming for John.
How the hell are you affording a house? We're paying you too much.
Thank you.
Yeah, you need a salary reduction.
Okay.
None of our staff owns homes.
This guy has 18 jobs outside of this one.
Nobody's happier about it than Howard. What a fucking shitty thing to say.
Right? It just knowing that, yeah, I'm going to have to look at the budget after this is done because you shouldn't be buying no fucking house in Connecticut.
Well, yeah, that was, and man, I haven't listened to that saga in a while, but I guarantee it lines straight up in line with what Stuttering John said one time in this 2-hour interview where he said Howard visited him in Manhattan when Stuttering John had a place there with I think it was before him and Susanna had kids, and he said he saw Howard look around as if, how the fuck do you have this apartment?
And I would have done the same, knowing the shit that we learned about later on about that fucking douchebag. I would have thought the same as well.
Not only that, but in more along lines of how can you afford this with what I pay you, kind of thing.
Right. But one thing that they said that he was good at was the stocks. The stock market he was able to flourish with it.
Yep.
Like a mad Jamaican.
Yeah, I'm just like a crazy Jamaican.
I'm crazy. Jamaicans are hardworking people.
Yeah, I know. Right. Hey, we got to work. Did you get to hear any of the show last night?
Yeah, I heard a little. I was in the middle of my own weather system coming through my apartment, so I turned it on, and then I went, fuck this. I was going to actually call in on you guys on the ISDN line because we had just set it up, and then all hell broke loose in my apartment with this alarm going off, and I didn't get to be on your show.
Yeah, it was crazy. The building here was swaying like crazy. In the middle of our show, it was swaying like crazy. And I mean, I thought the show was great because we had a good cross-section of being serious, but then serious mixed with funny. I mean, Bobo was crying on the phone. You could see a deterioration of Bobo throughout the 2 hours.
Why was he crying?
Bobo in that shot looks like the bastard son of Levy and Bowie.
He reminds me of was it in was it in Bronx Tale where I forgot which one it was when
Coffee Cake.
It was a good fella, good fellas. The one with the bartender who thought he looked good and he had like the toupee on his head. And they wet him and the fucking toupee came off. I forgot what movie it was. Because once you see Bobo's wig that looks like Ralph Cramden's raccoon cap, it just throws you off.
I think it was a Bronx Tale, but I'm not 100% sure.
Well, at the top of the broadcast, we had Bobo on, and he was sort of joking and sort of like, I'm in my car, but the water's coming up. By the end, he called me and left me a voicemail crying. We were in a commercial break, and then we finally got him on the air. He was crying. The transformer blew up at his house. He didn't know if the water was going to mess up his shrine to you, and all of a sudden it was like all hell broke loose, and the guy was crying. It was crazy. And Bolaris is telling him to find cover and get safe, and I think JD has the clip.
Yeah, this is something to laugh about. Some like almost free worker is going to get electrocuted possibly, or die of flooding because he was too stupid to leave. Anyway, yeah, it's just like the whole thing is I'm not finding it funny the way you're supposed to find these types of shows funny.
No, then the fact that Bobo, who's freaking out that this is occurring at this time, fast forward a couple of years later, moves to Florida, which is like the epicenter of fucking hurricanes. Good job, Bobo.
No kidding.
No wonder you were at, what was it? He was a 82 on his IQ test.
Listen, Bobo, I can get you a great deal on the sinkhole.
If you want to hear, it's on GP2 in white.
Yeah, I'd like to hear that.
Bobo calling in.
The best is they go, we told you to leave. He goes, I know.
Yeah. Yeah, it was like half therapy, half weather special. We're trying to get Bobo on the phone. I'm going to play this voicemail in a moment. Do we have Bobo? We have Bobo.
Yeah, hold on, John. I'm on light, but we just had an explosion over here.
Okay, well, if you need to go take care of your family, go. We just want to make sure you're okay.
Yeah, I'm okay right now, but it just had an explosion. Almost knocked me off the deck.
What happened? What did you hear? What did you see?
It was an explosion and on the pole and a light. I'm on the phone with Lipa right now, and the whole house is out of power
Transformer blew. Transformer blew. What's the rain doing in the wind?
It's rain is about 75 miles per hour, and it's heavy rain. It's about 4.5 feet of water now.
All right. Well, please go take care of your family.
All right.
Stay safe. And
like, what are you laughing about?
Yeah, like I said, this right here is just like it should be studied by psychiatrists of the level of insensitivity, narcissism, and just all out uncaring of human fucking society that these idiots are embellishing in right now.
Yeah, it's like sociopathy. I mean, what the fuck? I mean, this like, no, I'm not saying I feel like, oh wow, I'm really worried for Bobo in this situation, but it would be more like I wouldn't be laughing. And this isn't like a Robin laugh. This is he's enjoying Bobo's predicament.
Right. You're hearing explosions are happening, transformers are blowing up, which means you already know he's going to be without lights for, a few days and stuff. But yet this Nimrod Bobo, he calls in because he still has his commitment to the show.
Yeah.
You get what you deserve, sir.
Yep.
And wow,
told you to leave, Bobo.
John, that just underscores, I mean, I know we've been saying it, but it just underscores the danger of what we're dealing with Super Cyclone Sandy.
Well,
wow.
So that was the end. So you have to understand that's the culmination of now we've seen Bobo deteriorate slowly through the 2 hours. And that's what finally happened. And there's more. 11:15 last night in the hotel. I'm trying to go to sleep. It's Bobo calling. I don't pick up. I let it go to voicemail.
How does he find you in the hotel? On your cell?
On my cell.
Yeah.
5 minutes later, he calls again. And he said, I just wanted to check back in with you. I said, well, good. We're glad that you're alive, Bobo.
Yeah, good idea giving him your cell.
Bobo the dodo, like fuck them. Jesus Christ. The last person I'd be calling is these cunts.
Exactly. Like I said, and even Lieberman sitting there saying that, knowing that he heard what he was going through, he saw the phone ring first and didn't even want to pick up the phone. Like, Jesus, right? He's pick up the phone like, yo, Bobo, you okay? Like, he didn't even want to pick it up.
No. And I mean, I guess we got all the Bobo we needed, so we don't need to pick up. That's the logic. Fuck.
Oh, it was great. I don't know if JD can get this clip or if we have time for it, but we asked High Pitch Eric what he stocked up on to be ready for the storm.
Right.
And it was
sushi.
It was hilarious. He's like, I got 3 Entenmann's cakes. I got this.
Oh, I heard that.
And we said, we thought you were on a diet. And he said, the diet is suspended during the storm.
They said, what supplies did you get into your house? Where is that clip, JD? Because that's a good one.
It's GP2 in green.
All right, here you go. Listen to this.
Oh, and by the way, we still haven't had we've had maybe 10 seconds of Shuli. If you didn't hear that little sotto voce laugh, you wouldn't even know he was in the studio. That's how fucking inconsequential he was to this whole thing.
Oh yeah, but sure enough, he still found a way to cuddle up next to his man. Oh man,
you better believe it.
What have you stopped up on to make it through Frankenstorm 2012?
I stopped up on some Anthony's chocolate cake.
What happened to the diet?
Some Hostess cupcakes, 2 bottles of cherry Pepsi, and some peanut butter M&Ms.
Is the diet on hold because of the severe weather?
The diet is on hold just for this week.
So just while the storm is here, the diet's on hold.
The diet's on hold just till the storm is over.
Obviously, a big excuse for a high pitch to load up.
Fat people always have reason to suspend their diet. You know,
like some people that work next to you.
And just to let you know that the diet is still suspended, so the storm must be still.
He's never going to be svelte pitch Eric.
No.
And he's still doing his cameo as far as I know, right?
Yeah, and I'm really starting to side with you guys who you guys have been saying that he's actually been hustling them for the longest time. Because I know he doesn't live too far from where I'm at, where I live at. And he needs to make appearances at this this collectible spot that's not too far from me as well. And I've heard that voice is a put on.
I believe it, actually.
Yeah.
I think it's always been that way. And it's something like, I mean, if I wanted to, I could speak like high pitch the entire time. But my guy, it would be frustrating. It would be like Howard trying to sound straight all this time. But yeah, and I think if you got him at the right moment when he wasn't suspecting, like if I don't know, if some like revenue New York, whatever, the IRS calls him, he turns into yes sir, no sir, 3 bags full sir, really soon.
Yeah, it wouldn't be no shock to me. I just heard clear audio of what Michael Jackson's voice was really sounded like. So high pitch wouldn't surprise me.
He'd be like, I am reaching into my pocket for my license.
So he's like, look, normally I'd be on the diet, but look what we're going through.
About an hour later, we checked back in with him, and he had eaten all of those rations.
Right. He went through all his food even before the storm hit.
So he said he went back to the store and got 2 large bags of Cheetos and another big thing of cherry Pepsi to help make him through the next phase. Of the storm.
Oh, he's so gross.
That fucking piece of shit. He must have a gallbladder made of like titanium.
So it's the same. It's the same material where Wolverine has on its claws.
Adamantium.
You work at that store and you see him come in again. Hi, I'm here to resupply again.
I'm surprised.
And he's got all the shit that will stay good for the next through 2020.
Oh, yeah.
Do you have little tabbies?
It was great because we got Sal on the phone, and I said, Sal, what rations do you have to get through the storm? And he goes, what? What?
He never heard that word before.
Rations? He doesn't know the word?
People started tweeting and Facebooking, like, of course Sal doesn't know the word rations. Don't ask that
He's
question.
retarded. Like, it kind of makes me sad when I think about my staff. Like Sal and Richard, I mean, Richard had a pretty decent IQ. Sal doesn't, but
Richard's not using his. He's keeping it in storage for some reason.
I mean, Richard lives in Manhattan, hasn't shown up here in 2 days.
Well, again, he lives in Queens, but there's no reason for him.
Right.
I mean, he's living.
Yeah, and don't let the truth get in the way of your own bullshit.
Yeah, and once again, he didn't. Well, his rationale is a little goofy as well, but I didn't want to leave my guinea pig at home by itself. But yeah, once again, the transportation was horrendous, and then you could stay at a hotel for so long, and like I mentioned, the train service and the bus service was shut down for days on end. We didn't know when it was going to come back up.
I was going to ask you so if theoretically, okay, we're just playing with fucking fantasy. This is ILM, like Industrial Light and Magic time. Could Richard have feasibly walked from his house to their building?
No, because where he lived he was at, if I remember correctly, he was living in Long Island City. The only way he would have made it across walking would have had crossed the 59th Street Bridge, and that bridge those bridges were closed down for days.
That was shut down, so there literally was no way.
The only way that you was getting across, like
swim.
No, police would have to get, you had to have special access or reasoning to get through.
Gotcha.
And like for us at work, my job was only like 15 minutes away from here, but even still, that they would have like shuttles or jitneys to pick people up.
Mm-hmm.
But no, it wouldn't have been feasible to walk now.
You don't understand, officer. I gotta get in because this fruity boss of mine expects me
to show my penis.
I have to pee in a diaper today. It's real important stuff.
I have to paint Sal's penis to look like a hurricane.
Fucking goddamn Richard. I mean, he was good. He was good for, guys.
We can make Sal's uncircumcised penis look like a tornado.
Yeah, I mean, I was just trying to think of logistically because, and I keep forgetting how many people in New York proper are dependent on not just tunnels but bridges constantly. And you take out a bridge and it's a massive fuck up.
Oh, definitely. Anything that's coming into Manhattan, definitely, you're gonna be jammed up for the next fucking 5 days. It's a mess.
Yeah.
He literally could walk to Manhattan.
Yeah, he has no children. I mean, it's not like he has to be home with them. I mean, I don't know what he's doing. Like, he could have been here helping out.
Speaking of your staff, and Ganji was here yesterday and today, which he should be applauded for. We checked in with him last night. He was at a bar trying to pick up the bartender. Right. So he puts her on the phone and everything. And he steps outside and he said, the weather isn't doing anything. It's 5-mile-per-hour winds. So I turned to Balearis and I say, Balearis, what are your models showing? Balearis is like, my models are showing 55 to 60-mile-per-hour winds sustained in that area right now. And Ganji's insisting. Of course, Ganji had been there drinking for 5 hours. So Ganji insists nothing is going on here. He is preoccupied clearly with trying to pick up this waitress. 10 minutes later, get a text from Ganji, and we read it on the air. He says, bar being shut down by NYPD because they have to shut off all the electricity. We're about to get flooded.
What time?
Well, so what was playing on the jukebox then, Ganji? Fuck you like a hurricane. Like, okay, so that's, I cut out most of the stuff, literally 10 minutes of Ganji and then Ronnie coming in talking about how he's going to try to pick up this girl, which, okay, normally would have been part of the show, whatever. I'm sure was better than listening to his fucking bullshit rants about who wasn't there and who wasn't there, and they deserve praise. And Ganji being there, he doesn't, whether he has a family or not is irrelevant. It doesn't matter if you have a family or not, honestly.
Yeah, but even if they didn't have a family, I mean, even if they did have a family, you was giving them shit. So it's damn if you do, damn if you don't. Fuck your family, and fuck if you don't have a family.
Right? What family?
Night was this?
This was early in the night, 7:30.
Wow.
So it was just funny to hear Ganji insist that there was nothing going on.
By the way, I thank God Ganji's here. I mean, because it restores my faith in him. I mean, he's a guy who I feel is a real slacker.
I was just watching not too long ago on Howard TV.
Don't you think Doug Goodstein is weird? Like that he didn't show up yesterday and today? I mean, it's just weird.
It's a combination of, I think.
What does weird mean in this context? It's fucked up. He doesn't want to say it.
Yeah. It's his way of covering up, which I don't understand why. You might as well just say it. He's already fucking put everybody on blast in any case, so you might as well just say what you're really feeling. But once again, Doug
go ahead, please.
Days. Yeah, Doug is not there for 2 days because Doug was preparing to have a fucking superstorm hit his house.
Yep. And the other thing is, of course, so when Doug comes in, Howard says, "Fine, I never said anything about you. What was this?"
Right. Yeah. Exactly. So. I don't know, and he lives in the glass house especially during this time, and I say figuratively as well because he sits there and believes that he could see the world and know everything is going on and it's right because he knows it's right. Yeah, he's full of shit.
Yep,
guy you can't depend on.
Look, I think he wants to be home with his family.
Yeah, I mean,
I kind of get that.
Well, then he shouldn't have a job.
I want to retire from radio.
I know,
You know what I'm saying?
What the fuck is that correlation?
Did she hear what she said? That he shouldn't have a job.
Right. Let's go back.
With his family.
Yeah,
I kind of get that.
Well, then he shouldn't have a job.
I want to retire.
Yeah, that's Robin.
Wow, that's her thought process. By the way, where she's at? Oh, that's right.
Yeah, she's recovering. She's recovering from nothing, according to them, because at this time we're not supposed to know anything.
That she has a fucking tumor the size of a softball up her ass. Right.
Meanwhile, they announced that she had surgery for a fucking tumor, and then they went a year and a half without addressing it.
Right.
Like, guys, this is like walking into a gay pride parade dressed in a rainbow tux, and then the next day wearing a t-shirt and jeans, going, "I was where? What? I don't know. No, nothing happened. You didn't see anything."
What do you mean, like High Pitch Mike Bean and Disney World during Gay Pride Week wearing a red shirt and saying, "I'm not gay. I wasn't there for that.
I wasn't on the Matterhorn.
No, I wasn't trying to get goofy with Goofy. No."
Oh God, that was what was the Robert Klein joke? He said, I was in a Waffle House somewhere in the Midwest, and the waitress came up to me and she said, "I heard it." She said, "You're from New York? I heard about Pluto's retreat." And he goes, "It would be a perfect Disney property." And then I can't remember who the other comic was. He says, when you're done fucking a girl with a guy, another guy, like doing a threesome where you got a girl at both ends, you high three each other.
From radio.
I know, You know
what I'm saying?
I think he gets worried about his wife and his kids, and he doesn't want to leave them.
We're not worried?
I know. I mean, I have nobody to worry about, though.
I think
if I die, who the hell cares?
Well, we can expect this behavior from you.
That's why I came in. Nobody's going to miss me.
So yeah, Howard, what you're saying is, yeah, you didn't care about anybody. That's why you were there.
All is forgiven for giving that priest's wife's porno that was supposed to be a Seinfeld episodes. Thanks for coming in during a superstorm, Ganji.
Yep.
About if the pizza shop's going to be open.
But you know how Doug is like an emergency? Like his eyes bug out of his head and he's all running around, but he doesn't do anything. He's not.
But yeah,
he's useless.
Oh man, like honestly, if I was Doug Goodstein, I'd be fuming listening to this.
This is why I hate like listening to them nowadays. When now they they still have to kiss the throne. When right now I'd be like, fuck him. But at least at that time, Doug would actually go at it with him. He wasn't afraid to. But it annoys me just to hear them now when they're on other people's podcasts and they're just, still kissing his fucking ring like he's power over them.
Goodstein especially, and the problem, and they mainly, like, I've gotten in touch with them and I'm still waiting to hear back. I probably never will. I did give him all the information about us and stuff, and I'm sure he'll just say no because he's afraid to be associated with giving possibly a negative interview. But it's like, dude, just listen. It's as negative as you want to make it. Like, Richie didn't have to spill anything if he didn't want to, and he had the balls to come on. And I'd like for Doug to be on, but if it doesn't happen, I'm not gonna lose any sleep over it. But especially because the technical aspect. I love Scott Salem. I would talk shop with him the entire time about the recording levels, about the mics, how they were sorted out these things with Howard with compression, which I'm sure he's not gonna dish anyway. But I would also love to know about the economics of the situation. How did he get unionized and everybody else wasn't?
I would also want to know because what's their thoughts, because they ended up transitioning from doing Stern, went into when they did E, they went into Howard TV, and then after they were let go, they started working. The majority went to the Breakfast Club.
Yeah, the Revolt.
Yeah, and I would like to ask them, what's the difference? What did you take from working with Stern to bringing that to that kind of show? Like, those are pondering questions that boggle the mind.
Well, yeah. What happened to the lawsuit? It seemed to disappear in thin air. They sued P. Diddy's company, and I don't know if they just dropped it or it was settled or what, or nothing, or they lost it. It's got to be out there somewhere.
11, he went down to ground zero.
Yeah, and did nothing.
But you know,
No,
he, put
he
himself
says he
in
says he
danger.
like he
Well, he
helped
stole
out.
a camera and took pictures.
He stole a camera. That's right.
Right.
And he says he helped out.
But he did put himself in danger. How is that
Absolutely.
helping out his family?
Well, he wasn't married then, so I mean.
But Ganji said on the wrap-up show that didn't you say that DePace was going to come?
Oh,
in
by the way,
yesterday?
DePace. Oh, that's what I wanted to tell you. DePace tried to come in today. He's still stuck on the highway.
Ooh, fucking hell.
You see?
Yeah. Yeah. Although that did make for one of my favorite channels ever and the favorite nicknames, Goodstein the Looter. That's so good.
That is a good name. Yeah.
I mean, just the idea that and this is an episode that's coming out, but you guys will have heard it. But someone, after listening to the Hurricane Sandy stuff, someone made an account on Twitter, Gary's Trampoline. Fucking hell.
He's been stuck on the highway since 4 a.m. But he can't get in.
But you said.
And the cops won't let him turn around.
But he's an idiot. He could have come in Monday when there was nothing going on. Like Doug and
Yeah,
Scott
now he's
DePace.
trying to get in.
Like, I don't even get these guys. Monday, nothing was happening. Oh, but it could start happening. Well, if it starts happening, we'll leave.
According to Ganji, Doug called him on Monday and told him not to come in. Isn't that right?
Yeah, well, I mean, he got.
The thing about it is, look, I've never lived in a house. You know, I've lived in apartments all my life. So, you know, even with being in an apartment, you still go through preparations. Like, you tape up the windows so that they don't break. You know, you make sure that, you know, you have your food supplies. You know, for a house, I can't even imagine what you got to go through with that, because you got to make sure you have the generator. You got to make sure that, you know, you're able to ensure that there's not going to be massive flooding. You're going to try to prevent you're going to tie down a trampoline if you need to. It's like what you have to do. So it's not like something that happens in a couple of hours. It's, you know, it takes days to prepare for this thing.
Yeah, it's not just bringing an extra pair of underwear.
Right, exactly. And then you want to leave their house to go into the city and not worry about, because I remember he would ask, what are you gonna do if a tree goes into the house? I don't know. Make sure that everybody in my house is fucking safe and make sure that nothing else, you know, tears through the house. Shit. I mean, what an ass.
My bad, by the way, guys. Underpants, I meant.
Doug goes out of his way to like tell people to stay home. So, you know,
Right.
Yeah, he doesn't. You all should stay home.
The company was very worried about everybody going.
Yeah, and rightly so. But you know, come on. They have to do that legally. They really don't give a shit about you.
Yeah, before the first person got sued for that, they didn't care.
Yeah, right. If there were no lawyers in this world, they wouldn't care when you did.
Oh, that's also very telling. Yeah, I know the company was worried, but who cares? Like, what about it? That's like asking Billy, why don't you just work? You don't need to be unionized. Just cross the picket lines.
Right. Nobody's gonna care.
Right. Anyway, fuck him and fuck that. Guys, this is the end of that episode. Any closing thoughts about this before we sign off?
Yeah, I'm glad that you guys are doing this, and I'm glad to be a part of it as well, because anytime I've heard, and I'm even still to this day listening to certain episodes that are coming up that I've never heard before, and when you just the mindset of this fucking narcissistic asshole who, you know, even afterwards he'll describe in certain instances of how he had to deal with his own family staying with him or staying close by him during storm season. He's just a fucking miserable piece of shit.
It really is, and the reason why people are going to want us to cover the Ralph eulogy is just, again, it's to make it more obvious to people how exactly unfeeling and unfunny this piece of shit is. And with the Ben stuff, like I know we have tons on Patreon, and I hope you guys get on that and take a good gander and question again yourselves why we exist. Like, if you're with QF, you know our stance. You shouldn't be shocked by anything we say regards to, you know, how much we loathe some of these characters. And with the Hurricane Sandy thing, I think people have already made up their minds. But it's a good idea sometimes, as you said, to revisit this just to remind yourself of what dicks they can be and have been in the past.
Yeah, it's unfortunate. It's unfortunate that we're doing it on a day in which hell has got a new Gatum, and it's our boy Ralphie Cakes.
Yeah. Listen, can you? I like the surfaces here in hell. If you think it's cold, guys, you know what? We're not the ones who wished AIDS on people, and we're not the ones who, said we're going to fuck someone's dead father in the eye, and competitive, the competition. Another DJ, we told them I'm going to, skull fuck your dead father. That's a bridge too far, and we're not like that. And those of you who listen to us regularly know we're real people, even though I'm using a pseudonym. You can't see my face.
And you know what? 10 years from now, I'll just sit there and say, I was out of my mind.
Yeah, right, exactly. Thanks so much, brother. Appreciate your take on the saga, and we'll be back again with more frivolity with Jay and with loads of other guests as well. So thank you, guys. We love you.
Goodbye, my sweet loves.
He was like a monster guitar.
That's classic Ozzy, too, when he comes in. Mr. Crowley! The video, he's like got the hands up. Yeah. I'm the devil. I'll take your kids' souls from you.
Don't you think?
Mr. Crowley!
Don't you think Ozzy does that hands out thing because he's got like sort of a Christ complex?
Well, probably. Now I think it's the lizard.